Alright class, so in this lesson I'm going to be helping you with page 140 in your reader writers. It's the story chart, and I'm going to show you how you can start thinking about writing, so when you do start out it's going to be a lot easier for you. But there is a writing prompt, and I did send home a paper that looks like this. The personal narrative graphic organizer, okay, and there is a paper on the back that also looks like this. So first thing you would do is writing your own fairy tale. This is a practice sheet. So what this does is this helps you when you're not sure exactly what to write. You can think about a title, draw a picture to help you remember details about the event. So whatever story you're thinking to write about, your setting, the characters or the people at the event, what happens in the beginning, what happens in the middle, and what's going to happen at the end. And remember how we just did that page together about the farmer's daughters? So again, you could make your own fairy tale off of this story. Remember how I told you could change it and make it funny, make it different, add to it, take away from it. But what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you this. So what I have here is good characters and bad characters. I just made a chart like this to show you how you can start putting this together. And the writing prompt, a writing prompt is something that you're going to write about. So in this week, you're going to think about a fairy tale in which the characters work together. Now write your own fairy tale about characters who work together. Now to plan a fairy tale, the first thing we will do is choose characters to write about. That is the first thing. So we're going to make a chart, which I already did. And I'm going to make a list of the bad characters and the good characters. So let's start with this. So for example, I'm going to think of some characters that might be good, or characters that are nice. So let's see, how about I start with mice? I think mice are cute. So I'm going to say mice under good characters. And let's see, how about a prince or a princess? And you can write down anything you like, because again, it's going to be your own story. How about an elf? Now, I could make the elf naughty, huh? Maybe I'll put elf over here as a bad character. A cat could be very naughty. I might have a girl or a boy. They can be good characters. What about a troll? I'm going to put him over here because usually trolls are not very nice in stories, but you could have a good troll. There's also sometimes an evil king. Now unicorn, I'm sorry, I think unicorn has to go under good characters. Maybe pigs. You might want to put a horse. I don't know. Any other bad characters? I'm going to write dragon. But remember, a dragon could be good too. And a fox. So now I've made a list of my good and my bad characters. You can see right there. My good and my bad characters. So then, what is the next thing I'm going to do? Well, I'm going to think about them, and you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to think for a minute. First of all, what do these characters are going to look like? Do they have a name? And I'm going to start picking the characters that I want. So I'm going to be using another chart as well. And I don't need a title yet. But I've chosen the characters and I'm going to choose a setting. Where does the story take place? Well, the good characters I'm going to use in my little story is a girl and two elves. So let's see, I'm going to pick a girl. Actually, I'm going to make the elf good, not bad. I'm going to put elf over here, if you can see that. So I'm going to pick a girl and an elf as my good characters. And my bad character, I'm just going to pick a troll for my story. And again, you can pick whatever you want. I'm just giving you an example. And, oh yes, my setting is the forest. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to write setting. I'm going to pick a really nice forest. Setting is in the forest. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I can do two things. I can use this paper, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Reader Writers and I'm going to use my chart here because I need to do this lesson and I just would rather use this one. So now that I have marked off my characters, I'm going to go back to my little chart and I'm going to write under characters a girl, elf, and troll. So I'm going to write down girl, elf. Actually, there's going to be two elves. Elf 1 and elf 2 and troll. Now remember, I can always go back later and make a name for the girl. I can make a name for the elves. And I can make a name for troll if I want to. And remember what I said my setting was going to be? The forest. So I'm going to go to setting and I'm going to just write, forest. And again, you can have your own kind of forest. It could be a snowy forest. It could be a forest with a lot of flowers. It could just be a very green forest with mountains. You can just pick up your own forest however you want it to be. So now that I've written my characters, my setting, I'm going to write in the boxes what's going to happen at the beginning, middle, and end of my story. So using my imagination, I think I'm going to make my story like this. I think I'm going to say that a girl and two elves see how I changed my F to a V and added ES? That was our lesson today. A girl and two elves were walking in the forest. I could also say they were skipping in the forest, they were running in the forest, but I'm going to say they were walking in the magical forest. Ooh. They were walking in the magical forest. A troll took them and put them in a hole. A big green troll took them and put them in a hole. Put them in a hole. Now the funny thing is, I could have just said a troll, but I want I want to use my imagination, and I want my readers to go, ooh, it was a big green troll. So you start to see what it really looks like. So I'm using descriptive words. Then the next thing in my story, I want to say, the middle, what happens? The girl and the elves had an idea. One elf stood on the other's shoulders. That's what I'm going to put. I'm going to put that they had an idea, and the elves stood on each other's shoulders, and the girl was able to stand on top of the shoulders and climb out. So they came up with a plan. So in the middle, they found a solution. So I'm going to put they had an idea. The elves let the girl climb up their shoulders and jump out of the hole. So the girl climbed up, got out of the hole, but how are we going to end our story? Do you think the troll might come along and catch her again? Or do you think she's going to run away? What about the elves? So I wanted to end my story in a really good way. So what I decided is that I just thought that the girl found a magical stick that lit up, and it got really big, and the stick grew like a vine and was able to wrap around the elves and pull them out. And they all ran home and lived happily ever after. So I can say that the girl found a magical stick that lit up, and grew. I'm just going to say it grabbed the elves and pulled them out. Quickly, it pulled them out quickly. I'm going to say they ran home as fast as they could and they lived happily ever after. Or I could say they ran home as fast as they could and they had a big tea party. They ran home as fast as they could and they made a bunch of cupcakes and celebrated. There's so many ways you can say the end, right? So I'm going to put that they ran home. I might run out of space, but that's okay. They ran home as fast as they could and lived happily ever after. I'm running out of space. I'm going to go down here. But sometimes we run out of space. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Now you know it's a fairy tale when you write the word. Where'd it go? The end. That's always a fairy tale ending. The end. Once upon a time is how you start a fairy tale, usually once upon a time, and they lived happily ever after in the end. So I hope this helps you to write a story chart. And the first thing you can do is take some paper, write your characters, your good and bad characters, your setting, and then your beginning, middle, and end. What happens first? What's going to happen in the middle, which is kind of the scary part or the trouble part. And then the end is the solution. Something good usually happens. So I hope this helps you. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay? And then I will see you in the next video. And also, you can use this paper as well. But I would say you start your first one using your Reading Street paper, and then you can transfer it over to this for extra practice. All right, I'll see you soon.